decided to go to Tanzania. It's in the eastern side of Africa. And of course, it's well known for its best hike, which is the Mount Kilimanjaro at around 19,340 feet. I prepared for the hike a couple weeks right before the climb. And also prior to that as well, for like 6 months before that, I hike like at least once or twice a week, and also do the weightlifting as well, 10 pounds or so, to strengthen my upper body. And they have some requirements actually that they listed for the local group that I went with, which was climbing Kilimanjaro. And by the way, they're great. They're very personable. They have integrity, very professional, and very attentive. Get on with it with our packing list, or my packing list. There are different weather conditions at the summit, of course. It's always very, very, very cold up there. So anyway, what did I pack? So there are a couple things. The duffel bags, I got them from REI. Again, I'm promoting them because I really like them, and they have very reliable equipment. A duffel bag for the porters to bring. Make sure it's not more than 30 pounds. I brought a 90-liter one. And then a day pack that you carry the entire time. They mentioned about 35 to 50 liter pack. I know myself, so I brought a 50-liter bag, which is a pretty comfortable backpack that I've actually been using before I came to Tanzania. Let's start with the pack that you bring with you the entire time, okay? This is my 50-liter backpack. And then my hiking poles. I bought this Hiker Hunger. Again, I'm promoting them, but they're not sponsoring me or anything like that. I just wanted to tell you that it's very light. I had to put rubber band because I just want to make sure they don't get lost. They actually make sure that you get snacks for your hikes daily. But if you're comfortable to just bring Clif Bars maybe a day with you, just in case, because the food that they give you might not agree to your stomach. I just want to make sure that whatever I have here is not limited to this. You can always add stuff in it. Also brought a face mask. I didn't really need this. This is just an emergency. It's pretty light. Clif Bar, lip balm, and then because my eyes get dry, so I brought this with me. And then my hat. I wanted to make sure I cover my neck, and then also my face with this. If you have to go in nature, here's a shovel. Pocket knife. I didn't have to use this, but this was just an emergency. I also brought my glasses and my sunglasses. I have sunglasses and a regular prescription glasses there, but I'll show you also that I brought another pair for the other duffel bag that the porters bring with them. So I used a CamelBak, which is much easier because it makes the hike faster, because you could just drink and not stop. I used this knee protector just because there's a lot of climbing up and down rocks and stuff like that. But I had a binocular with me because you'll encounter a safari. You can see all these great animals around. So I use a sunscreen. It's like a light jacket. You can get this from Amazon. It's called Sunscreen SPF 50. That covers pretty much your neck, your mouth, and your entire face. I brought a raincoat. You will go through a rainforest, and then also to cover your backpack. So Purell with me in my backpack. I'm prone to blisters, so I just brought this thing with me. It's pretty light. Most skins are pretty good. And then medicine. It's really important with elevation. Just bring the Diamox anyway. And according to just follow the CDC guideline. Your primary care doctor will prescribe it for you, okay? So Diamox, 125 milligram every 12 hours to start at least 2 days prior to your ascent. Some people say, start at 8,000, but you know yourself, if you've been hiking so much before, you'll be able to figure out when to start the Diamox. I started mine 2 days prior. The Diamox prevents the acid buildup in your body, in your lungs, and that prevents you from having pulmonary edema and cerebral edema. And then the steroids you start at the summit, which is 4 milligram every 12 hours. You kind of just gradually decrease that, like on the second day. So in your first aid kit here is my hemostatic granules here. The reason I know about this, I'm on Eliquis, which is a blood thinner, and so when you get cut, you have the potential to bleed out. So I use this in the ICU, intensive care unit, to stop someone from bleeding at the cath site, pretty much in the femoral line area. Alcohol, Band-Aid, Neosporin. Okay, so those are the things in my first aid kit here. Epi injection, which is right here. Okay, so I have that. And then I have this, and I planned it accordingly when I should start the Diamox. So again, it's very light so that you won't forget, okay, to take your medicine, the Diamox. So 125 milligrams every 12 hours. They recommend you start at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. It's just because after you take this, you will be going and peeing a lot. So, and then here's your Decadron, of course. You take this 4 milligram every 12 hours. And then other things that I brought with me is Vaseline. If you're prone to your hands or your fingers and your toes getting cold, Vaseline is actually very good with warming them up. So electrolytes, especially if you're taking Diamox. So this has sodium in it, potassium. Other things that you need to bring is the Augmentin, and then ibuprofen, of course. I took like 600 or 800 milligrams every 12 hours along with the Diamox. It also prevents altitude sickness as well. I brought make sure that you have food in your stomach. This can be very bad for your stomach. Motion sickness, well, I just brought this with me for nausea, vomiting, because this doesn't make me sleepy. Some people would take other things for nausea that makes you sleepy, but that one doesn't. But I didn't have to use that. Antidiarrheal medication, which I didn't have to use. Benadryl, of course, which I didn't have to use, just in case you have a reaction or some kind of an allergic reaction. I also had wipes, when you have to go. Okay. And then, of course, your money and your wallet here. I had a extra plastic bag in here. And then I had my face mask here extra, and also your passport in there. Okay, you have an electronic padlock. Make sure you actually have this with you to connect, just in case you can't open your padlock. This is my 90-liter duffel bag from REI. It has a backpack capability to it from here. Actually, so they cover this up with a rain cover, even though I had one covered also with my duffel bag. This, and I got this from Amazon, that fits to that. Okay, just so bringing one pair of thermal pants, top and bottom. They have to be merino wool or any wool, no cotton, because it's really, really cold up there. Shirts, okay, so I brought like 3 long sleeves and then a fleece sweater. Get hot, so I have this, and then a t-shirt. Okay, you need a winter jacket with you, definitely, for the summit. And also, when you're in the camp, I brought this down jacket as well. Okay, and then of course going into the pants. So I have my thermal pants when I went to the summit. And then I used this kind of a winter pants. I really like this because this is the Fial Raven pants, which is good for winter. Okay, and then I had this to control the wind. And then at the beginning of the hike, either you can wear shorts or I had this. And this, or you can use this type of pants from REI, where you can actually use this as a shorts, and the rest of it, you know, it's pants. Rain gaiter. I actually didn't use this, especially if you have a waterproof shoes. So, I mean, it's pretty light for the summiting. They call this baklava, I guess, where it covers around your neck and your head. This one I use for the summit. This is really, really, really good. So, okay, so because I like to protect my hands from the sun, the entire hike I was using this, which is actually, again, I'm not promoting Amazon, but I got this from Amazon. This is UPF 50. And then the rest of it is when it gets really, really cold. After, I'd say, Saddle Hut. And then you go to the Little Maru, and in the Maru, you can use this, which is a little thicker. And then I have this Sherpa gloves. And then, of course, the winter gloves. That's what I used because it was very, very cold. And then you need your sleeping bag, 0 degrees to negative 15 degrees, because it gets really cold there. There's no heater up there. So I just want to let you guys know that. In terms of electronic stuff, you need to make sure people can bring 2 torches. That's their requirement, but I had my flashlight with me on my phone. So make sure, I mean, I have another one of this, but this one is the newest one, the latest one. So I made sure it works. Your torch light for the night. A full-on portable battery pack. And then, of course, this GoPro that I'm using, extra AAA battery for the torch. And, of course, a battery for the GoPro that's fully charged. Okay, and then I had this SIM cards with me, which I didn't have to use because it's 256 gigabytes that I used, so I didn't have to use that. So I only used the one that I'm actually using right now. Okay, so that's the electronic stuff. There are some downtime during this hike. I downloaded some videos actually in my phone, and I kind of just watched a little bit of it if you can't, you know, if you can't sleep. So in terms of sanitary stuff, I went for the 4-day hike, so I had 5 pairs of underwear, 1 sports bra. You can bring 2. I have this towel that I use, which is from Monster. And I use this for the rest of your body. And I have a separate face towel, actually, that I use just for my face. I had another extra hat that I put in my duffel bag. 4 pairs of socks. These are all merino wool. And then a thick one. My advice to you guys, I recommend that you try them all on. 2 pairs or 3 pairs of socks in your shoes to make sure they actually fit. I ended up just using 2 pairs of socks when I was summiting, but it was very cold. But again, I put Vaseline on my feet, so I was fine. They will provide toilet paper for you, but I brought toilet paper with me. The rest toilets are actually pretty clean. They clean the toilets in the huts. But if you have to go, especially if you're on Diamox and stuff like that, just bring one. And then I have a plastic emergency blanket there. I didn't have to use it, but I had it. And then a rope, just in case. And then for those women who actually are on their period, I recommend that you actually don't go when you're in your period. When I tried to hike on my period, I actually didn't do well. So, but, you know, just bring them anyway, just in case. Padlock for your duffel bag. And then a warmer for your hands. Lighter for your tape to repair your shoes. Okay, and then all the things you had here. So, cotton balls. This is very light. I brought half of this only, actually in another Ziploc bag. This is just to clean your face for those women who are conscious about their skin. A makeup remover, which I actually ended up using for my eyes because of the sunscreen that I put in every day. And then mosquito repellent. They recommend Malarone to take to prevent malaria, but that actually makes me sick and dizzy, especially if I'm summiting. So I just went ahead and sprayed. I used the organic mosquito repellent, and along with it, I actually had a bracelet with me, which is also a mosquito repellent, both on your wrist and your ankles. And then I brought again, for those people who are conscious of their skin, so I brought my SPF 50 for the face. I also added it with the SPF 70 for the face and the rest of the body. These are both mineral sunscreens. And then my deodorant facial cleanser. You can just use this also the rest of your body. And I use this for everything else. Bring earplugs with you. I had dental floss, sewing kit, cotton swabs, toothpaste and toothbrush, lactic acid, hyaluronic acid or lactic acid for your face right before you sleep. And then I also put an eye cream from Neutrogena, day serum, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid during the day along with your sunscreen. And then a biofreeze because your shoulders, your back will hurt after your high comb. This one's pretty light. Then I brought rubber bands with me for my hair. Let's go some mask like right before you sleep. Secure them with your padlock. And then regarding the shoes, I had 2 pairs of shoes with me. This is for summiting. This is from Oboz from Merrell. These are really good. I tried this a couple times already on Mount Whitney. In California, where they're full of rocks, you will need this. It's just because you go to gravel, cinder, and all that stuff, and that's really good. This one is for like going up the first 2 days. It's from Salomon. It's ultralight, and it's waterproof supposedly, but it got wet. But this is really, really comfortable. I also changed my lining here, which has an arch support from Dr. Scholl's on both, and I survived with them. So depending on the weather, use this the first 2 days or 3 days. No, first 2 days. When you summit, you use the Oboz, and then when you descend, you use the Salomon. Those are what I pack for my Mount Meru hike. Then we'll go on to the next vlog, which is going to be Mount Meru. Thanks, everyone.